6 that never got fixed, 5 for the gospel preachers, 4 for the 4 that stood at the door, 3 for the Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for the little bitty baby born, born, born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send thee 7 by 7, 7 for the 7 that never got to heaven, 6 for the 6 that never got fixed, 5 for the gospel preachers, 4 for the 4 that stood at the door, 3 for the Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for the little bitty baby born, born, born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send thee 8 by 8, 8 for the 8 that stood at the gate, 7 for the 7 that never got to heaven, 6 for the 6 that never got fixed, 5 for the gospel preachers, 4 for the 4 that stood at the door, 3 for the Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for the little bitty baby born, born, born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send thee 9 by 9, 9 for the 9 all dressed so fine, 8 for the 8 that stood at the gate, 7 for the 7 that never got to heaven, 6 for the 6 that never got fixed, 5 for the gospel preachers, 4 for the 4 that stood at the door, 3 for the Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for the little bitty baby born, born, born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send thee 10 by 10, 10 for the 10 commandments, 9 for the 9 all dressed so fine, 8 for the 8 that stood at the gate, 7 for the 7 that never got to heaven, 6 for the 6 that never got fixed, 5 for the gospel preachers, 4 for the 4 that stood at the door, 3 for the Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for the little bitty baby born, born, born in Bethlehem. Born in Bethlehem.
And so, just as Nehemiah built his walls strong to protect against their enemies, so may the walls of this glorious church protect us from our enemies that lurk outside.
Amen. We will keep this wall strong.
Pastor,
Yes, my child?
it's a little cramped in here.
Yes, it is.
Couldn't we open a window or something?
A window?
A window? Why, I never.
A window lets in the outside. Do you know what is out there? Well, do you?
No.
Sin, germs, unstarched shirt collars, and other bad stuff.
But it kind of smells in here.
Please, we are far from our family and need help. My wife is going to have a baby. We don't have a car. If we could just have a room.
Elders?
I'm sorry, but you see,
We have our bills to pay.
These walls aren't cheap.
we pay for heat, water,
Internets.
The big screen TV.
you see.
There's no room for you in the church.
But we'll pray for you.
But I'm going to have a baby. Where are we to go?
So we can't do anything?
Sorry. These walls aren't cheap.
Away
The child
We saw a vision.
We saw angels. Ezekiel.
is he protected by these walls?
We don't much like this noise you're making.
And your smell.
Here we believe in taking baths.
Have you ever heard of soap? And this dream.
Well, I'm not number 3, okay?
This vision.
These angels.
We
don't
go for things like that.
You mean the child isn't here?
You'll have to find him
Somewhere else. But how do we know what they said wasn't true?
Well, that was interesting.
If I make a suggestion,
Well, sure.
I think we need a different type of wall. We need.
Who's here? Those people. They're from the east. You know.
Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, he will sit on his glorious throne. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father. Take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you visited me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick and in prison and go to visit you?" The king will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you did for me."
Three by three.